Once the gate was open, we proceeded up the ramp and down the city streets, the rain slowly falling. Followed Ada and Leon down the street, quietly listening to their conversation as we made our way through. We waited outside the gun shop as we waited for Ada to pick the lock. When she did, we proceeded inside, and we had a look around. A few moments later, we heard the sound of a gunshot being ready, that familiar clicking sound as someone rifles around down into the chamber. We looked around the corner to see a man holding a gun to Leon's head.
Don't move.
I'm not gonna hurt you.
I said don't move.
I'm just passing through. I'm gonna ask you to lower that weapon.
I kill you are. You're gonna turn around and go right back out the way you came in.
I think your daughter needs help, sir.
Don't tell me how to deal with my daughter.
Drop it.
No! Wait!
Step aside. We need to terminate her before she turns.
Terminate. It's my fucking daughter.
Ada. Just let them be.
Emma? Sweetheart, I told you to stay put.
Daddy?
Daddy's here. Okay? Those fucking things outside. Look what they did to us. You're a cop. You're supposed to know something. How did this happen? Huh? She was our sweet little angel.
Mommy?
I was sleeping, honey. Okay? And I'm gonna put you to bed too, okay? Emma.
We came around the corner and into sight, seeing the man holding his child in his arms. Ani moved forward to speak to the man. "Sir, I think I may be of some help to you." He proceeded to hand him something, and then said, "Give this to her immediately. It should help with her infection. She should be fine. Also, the other thing I gave you should point you in the direction of another evacuation team we have. They should be able to get you and your daughter out of here safely." Tears welled up in the man's eyes, as well as a smile. A thank you was all that was able to escape his lips as he took his daughter and proceeded into the back room. Bonnie turned around and looked at the two and said, "You should get going now. We don't have much time." They both looked at him and nodded. We then proceeded through the gate. We headed through some scaffolding until we came to the opening of a sewer entrance. Oh great, this is gonna be smelly, I thought to myself. We followed the sewer walls until we came to a spot where the catwalk came to an end. Leon jumped down into the gross and disgusting sewer water. Ew, why would you do that, I thought to myself. It was then that we heard a large rumbling. Something big was coming our way. It was a large, monstrous crocodile, and it looked like it was going to have Kennedy for dinner. Ada shouted out for Leon to run, and run he did. We proceeded to dash along the catwalk, finally reaching the end. We heard a large explosion. Looking down, we'd seen Leon had gotten away from a large alligator, and apparently it had bitten a very large gas line that it shouldn't have. We lowered the ladder to let Leon back up, and we continued our journey into the sewer. We proceeded down the hallway, and we came to an elevator. We got inside and proceeded to take it down. Once we reached the bottom, Ada and Leon headed out and proceeded ahead of us. We took a few moments to look around, see if there was anything useful. After a few moments, we could hear them talking to somebody a little ways down.
Identify yourself.
Annette Birkin.
She's who we're looking for?
Not much time. Need to dispose of it.
We're here for the G-Virus.
That's not gonna happen.
I'm warning you, Doctor.
Oh, yeah?
Hey!
Stop!
And then we heard gunshots.
You'll never get the G-Virus!
By the time we had reached the room, there was Ada standing over Leon. He had been shot in the shoulder and had passed out from the pain. Ani looked at Ada and told her, "Why don't you go on with your mission? Here." He seemed to hand her something. These should be enough to get you to where you're going. I know why you're here, Miss Wong. But I won't let you compromise my mission. Do we make that clear? She took what Ani had handed her and nodded her head, and then proceeded to make her way to the next room. I assisted Ani in taking care of Leon's wounds. After some time had passed, Leon finally came to. His first words were, "Ada?" He looked around, a little confused. Ani looked at him and said, "She's decided to go on with her mission. If she's able to meet up with us later, she said she would. But I find that to be possibly doubtful." Leon nodded in acknowledgement. "Come on, let's get going," said Ani. We then proceeded to head further down until we came to an end, leading down into a big, soupy pool of sewer water. Well, this looks like the only way we can go. All three of us proceeded to jump down into the gross and disgusting sewer water as we made our way through. After a while of treading through the poo water, we proceeded to come to a dry area, climbed up, only to find what looked like completely eviscerated corpses of armed guards. What could have made this kind of mess, I wondered, because the hallways were almost painted with their blood. But given the monstrosities I've seen thus far, whatever could have done this could have been any number of things. After we got out of the hallway, we entered what looked like it could possibly be a water treatment facility plant. Having a look around, we found an office door that was unlocked. We headed inside, and what we found was a note. It was marked from Sabrina. Apparently she'd already been through this area, so it should be more than easy enough for us to get through. See, she had also left us a few little gifts. A flamethrower, along with some ammo. Well, at least this should be easy. Ani looked at me and said, "Nothing is ever easy. Just because she's already cleared the area doesn't mean something might not have moved in behind her. Keep your eyes open." We headed back the way we came and back into the sewers. Ew, more of this disgusting poo water, I thought to myself. We then proceeded to head down a path that we had not gone down previously. Along our path, we came across a very large and hideous-looking monster. I looked over at Ani and asked him, "What is that?" He said very quietly, "That is an improper G-infected. That's what happens when the DNA doesn't match up to the host. Leon, why don't you roast him?" It was at this moment that Leon moved forward with a flamethrower and burnt it to a crisp. It screamed and screeched and howled as it was burnt alive. We came across a few more of these before we were able to make it to the exit. We came to a large room. There seemed to be what looked like chess pieces sticking in some kind of odd-looking power box. There was a door on the other side. It looked very heavy, and it seemed to have some very complex mechanisms in it in order to keep it open or closed. But it was already open. So we then proceeded to head through the door. After a short walk, we found ourselves in what looked like a power room. A few moments later, we heard a large thump come from the roof, and then all of a sudden a claw came hammering down, ripping the power box apart, and setting the whole room on fire. We frantically looked for an exit, seeing as our only exit was now blocked by fire. The claw kept coming down through the room and reaching down, trying to reach at any of us. But we just kept moving, trying to stay out of the fire and not get shish kebabbed. After a while, the monster had gotten done playing around and had bashed through one of the walls. It was at this moment that Ani threw something. I heard it clanking to the floor. He yelled out, "Cover your eyes!" as a large flash and bang went off. The monster seemed to be disoriented. Ani grabbed me and Leon as we headed past it down the hall of the new created door it had just made. We ran as fast as we could, the creature on our tail. Fortunately, we had met a dead end. It was at this moment that Leon said, "Hey, wait, I've got an idea." The towering monster came barreling down the stairs at us. Leon hit a nearby switch, causing a crate that was sitting nearby to start moving. It was at this moment that Leon pulled out his lightning hawk and started filling the monster with rounds. It didn't seem to stop it, but it did put it down for a few moments, and Leon ran over and hit the button again. The crate came swinging around, and then hit the beast with so much force it was sent sliding back. And then to my shock and amazement, it stopped the crate. What? No way! How strong can that thing be? It pushed the crate back out. Leon, in frustration, hit the button again, sending the cargo out once more. He then proceeded to open fire again. The monster dropped. He then proceeded to hit the button a second time. But this time, it did not fail, and it sent the monster careening over the edge. Once the monster was taken care of, we did some careful backtracking and we had found a door that we had missed. We headed through it, and we came to a cable car. Well, this must be our way out. A small pad by the door lit up, and the door opened. We headed inside and started the cable car up. Slowly but surely, the cable car started to move, and we were on our way. Once we made it to the top, we came to an odd-looking area. Not much there. It was at this point that Ani pointed out a large elevator that was sitting in the back. That was our exit out. We just had to take that up and we'd be at the exit point. So Ani, Leon, and myself headed for the elevator. It opened up and we got inside, and then proceeded to take it to the top. When we got there, we could see that Von Holt and Sabrina were already waiting there with their targets. It looked like we had made it out of this horror, this nightmare.
Ah, you did quite well. I didn't expect you to get this far. And frankly, I was expecting someone else. But oh well, I guess you'll do. Now then, which one of my magnificent horrors will you fight?